once again and the Novice Angler channel. Well, have we got something different for you today? First of all, Merry Christmas. Here we are, the end of 2018. Look at this beautiful snow here. Woo, and that's me. Yes, that's my hands. Woo. I'll tell you all about this place in a minute, but I love all this snow effect. Absolutely brilliant. And oh, I've got itchy nose, itchy nose. And we also have Santa coming around here somewhere from time to time. Where's Santa? Santa, show yourself. Oh, actually, I will show you this. This is great. Look, snowballs. Yay! Love it. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, well, Santa will be back in a minute. He does a circuit. Oh, he's over there in the distance. He's doing a circuit. Well, what are we doing today? Well, I'm taking you round a virtual reality site, which is for short VR. It's how would you describe it? It's a persistent world. In other words, it's like having the real world inside your computer. For those of you old enough to remember, you might remember Tron, fabulous old film from the 80s. And oh, here comes Santa. And he actually gets sucked inside the computer. Well, imagine you actually being inside the computer. And that's what Somnium Space is all about. It's a free download. Here comes Santa and the reindeer. That's brilliant, isn't it, eh? And the snow. Oh, lovely. Well, Christmassy. I can hear him saying, ho, 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 Merry Christmas through my headset. So, love it, love it, love it. Yeah, so this is well, it's a world within the computer, a virtual world, virtual reality. Those of you may have heard of things like the Oculus Rift and things like that, the Lenovo, Samsung Odyssey Plus, the Pimax, the Oculus Go, PlayStation VR. It's something where you can come with those sort of headsets. But what's it got to do with fishing? I'll tell you, we're making history here, guys. Absolutely awesome. Just showing you over here, there's another one of the big headsets that's coming out during 2019, the Pimax, a big VR name now. Huge vision area. Most headsets are sort of around here, 110 degrees. These guys are going out some like 270. I mean, phenomenal. Wide view. VR car there, the Tesla, actually looked at and purchased over a VR site. So VR is really becoming the thing, the latest tech. Now, I promised you, what's it got to do with fishing? Right. You know my buddies over at Llanelli, 80 Station Road, yeah, the old Angler's Corner. Let's pop inside. Well, in Somnium Space, we're running a campaign. Have I got it on a sign near me? Yeah, too bad, over there. Oh, there's Bert, the duck on our duck pond, down the water. So, I survived, I didn't drown. So we have a campaign running, and this is it. It's called the Indiegogo campaign, and you can invest in Somnium Space by buying little parcels of land. And they're small, medium, large. You can see the large one's got this roller coaster on it here. But you can actually invest in Somnium Space by purchasing some land. You can use it as a meeting place, a social aspect of Somnium Space. If you want to come in and meet me and we can swap tips about fishing, please do come along. You can use it as a sort of a game site. We've got wall climbing, there's temping bowling over there, and all manner of things. But one of the main things you can also do with Somnium Space, if you purchase yourself a land parcel, you can turn it into money. You can actually what they call monetize the site. Now, this is what my buddies over there at Angler's Corner have decided to do. They are making history. I don't know of any fishing shop which is in VR. Angler's Corners have come to me, had a little look at VR at my place, and they've like, wow, the possibilities. I mean, yeah, tell me about it. Mark came up here with his tech guy, I think Matthew, had a little go. We had a bit of fun, of course we did various games and things, but I brought him into Somnium and showed him that we are actually going to be able to build on these land parcels and put on it whatever we like. Why doesn't he think about having a VR shop? Well, that makes sense. He hasn't got half the blooming costs in the real world in here in the virtual world, and yet you guys can come into his shop from anywhere around the world. Come in through the front door or have a look around. There'll be displays and Corda, say, on one wall, and Gardner maybe on another, Fox, Ridge Monkey, you name it, Nash or whatever. And you can come into the section and go, oh yeah, here are all this Corda's stuff, and oh, there's the old PVA, and oh, there's some books there, or CDs, or all the weights at the bottom, or all manner of stuff, hooks, you know, you name it, wide gate, choddies. You can basically come along here and have a little look through, see the sort of lines that Mark carries in his shop. Then you can turn, say, to this wall where we'll have a panel, press that, and then up comes his website. You can look through the stock, press add to basket, and make your purchase. And then Mark and the team will get your bits together and post them out to you in the real world. So what a fabulous way of giving him a second shop without all the associated costs. All he's got to do is get a little bit of land, and that's all for different prices depending on how big you want. But you can see the height of it. You could very easily have 2 floors based on our avatar height, probably about 2/3 the one of these boxes here. And we can then obviously go up an internal staircase, boom, 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 to the upper floor. And he's got all that extra sales space up there, pop a roof on. He can either have a flat one, might even manage to go up to a 3rd floor, or he could have a nice peaked top as usual and just have an upper loft area within the height restraints of the grid. But what a fabulous idea, going into virtual reality and having a fishing shop. So all you lovely peeps can go in there, have a look around all his stock. I've told you loads about his shop over previous videos on YouTube, and you can have a look over, see the latest lines, all the new lines that are coming out, say by Corda or by Gardner or Fox, Guru, another big one, and where we can, I will then take photos of it in his shop and overlay those images onto the walls, so that you guys can be kept right up to date with all the fishing rods and reels and all manner of things, and can come and have a look around his shop here in Somnium space, and then go to the sign, etc., blah blah blah, the panel, punch up his website and make your purchases. And that means his shop is going to be open 24/7. Doesn't matter about your time zones, doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you come into Somnium space, and you can go and visit his shop and have a little look over all the products and decide what takes your fancy for the new year of 2019. So a little slightly different video for you today, telling you all about Somnium space and how Mark is going to get his fabulous Angler's Corner online just for you guys, and be, as far as I know, a world's first. Never known a fishing shop to actually be in VR. What a future-looking guy! as a fishing shop owner, he's really looking at all the tech as well. And that lovely Christmas tree. Yes, I'm feeling a little bit nibbly after all this, so I'm just going to do this. Do stay around for the rest of the video. I'll finish on this one, and then basically,
hot dog.
there you go. And I'll I'll go and put on some bits on the end. I'll be covering some fishing rubbers, how to quick change your floats to and from your line, and with that, have a great rest of the Christmas for 2018. I'll see you again in 2019. And just to give you a quick update, I think we're up to 29 or 30 subscribers now, and well over 10,000 views. I really do appreciate you guys coming in, checking out the videos, and giving me your little vote of thanks by subscribing. Please enjoy 2019, stay safe, and a very happy new year to you guys from me, Fisher Rob, and the Novice Angler channel. Well, hi guys, welcome to part 2 of the little video here for the end of 2018. Do go and have a look at that Somnium space. I hope you guys enjoyed that first little bit. What a phenomenal place, a VR world, virtual reality with an actual fishing shop in it. That's going to be a first. You wait till I go and start publishing that. And I think he's going to put it on his website as well, so it's going to be absolutely brilliant. I did say I was going to finish off with something else a little bit more fishy, which is fair enough. These chaps, these are float rubbers. You can still get them in some of the old fishing shops, not everywhere though. Some you have to go online for them, but I'm lucky enough, as I usually say, with our Anglers Corner, bloody good bunch of guys. And what you used to do, for those of you that don't know, the older way of doing things, you'd have a float. I'm just going to use an inside of an old pen here just to show you as an example, but you'd have a float which obviously had a certain gauge of thickness, whether it was a counterweight or whatever, but you'd have a float, and to put it on your line you had to feed your line through these little rubbers or diddy things. I've got a lamp alongside me, so hopefully you can see that a bit better. It's a little bit overcast over here in Wales, but you have these little rubbers, and you'd have to find the one that might suit the gauge of your float, maybe be a little bit smaller than the gauge of the float so that it's a nice tight fit, and then you'd basically work that over the bottom of the float, etc., after you've fed your line through the rubber, and then do the same, bring the other rubber down from the other end, slide it over the top, and you had your float then rigidly on the line. One drawback with that, of course, is that you know, the problem that keeps it very, very fixed. And of course, if you're using bottom weighted floats, etc., then it's going to be very fiddly to get that to sit up at the right height, and you have to plumb the depth, and absolute manic. So they actually started to bring out a new idea, which is a sort of a silica sleeve, but it has the hole in the bottom of the float. I mean, the very, very first floats used to have the little hole at the bottom. You'd put your line through that, and you'd put studs either side of it, the old lead shot and things like that, and that would then give the float only probably an inch or so of movement, but at least it was free then to pop up and be straight there, and you then gauged the depth till it just broke the surface of the water, and then that was your float set. But as I say, that was fiddly. So then they brought out the rubbers that you could put on, but then again you had to still keep doing all the adjustments and stuff like that. That was a bit of a nightmare. And changing was even worse, because if you actually used these little sort of holes like you have on this, I don't know if you'll see that, but on the bottom, they used to have those on the bottom of the floats, and if you put your line through that, you actually had to completely de-tackle, take all your hook off, everything, to get the line out, put a new float on, and it was a nightmare, absolute nightmare. So I started using these sort of float rubbers, and then I could just push them onto the float, and then if I wanted to change it, I just pop the rubber off the bottom, pop the rubber off the top, took the float away, put a different one in, put them back on, and carried on fishing. 5-minute changeover. But then, as I say, time goes by, and they always try and find new and better ideas on what to bring out. And we've now got these tiny little sleeves. I'll try and hold it at an angle for you so you can see it. But these tiny little sleeves, which are a silica tube basically, with again a flat piece of silica at the bottom, which allows you to feed your fishing line through. And now it's much, much better, because you can literally wiggle these onto the bottom of your float, he says keenly. Yes, ta-da! Doesn't always work when you're on camera, I promise you that. You're forever retaping and retaping. But there you go, and it's on the bottom there. And if your line was through that and you wanted to change your float, you just pull it out, he says. Now see, it's going the other way now. Pull that out, get hold of a different float, put it back in. Job done. And it's now reattached to your line. So that's the only piece you actually need to put on your line now. So if you want to change your float, say the wind picks up, and you want to go on something like a quill. That's dating myself a bit now, but go on something like a quill. You can just literally just pop a quill in there and cast it straight back out, and you're ready for the new winds, and you can keep on fishing within 5 minutes of pulling it out the water. So do have a look for the float rubbers. Always a good addition to your fishing tackle box. Good selection of those. I've got 2 or 3 packs of these. Various sizes, from little tiny gauge to good medium and large, etc. They're different thicknesses as well. So yeah, brilliant and fabulous little addition. Or of course these little float sleeves, if you like, that you can pick up from all good tackle shops, and then that allows you to quick change your floats on the line. Just put your line through that, slide that up, and then pop the float in that you want. Now don't forget, guys and girls, if you're new to your fishing, at the bottom of your float you usually find some letters. 1 letter A, say, or 1 letter B, or 2 B's, 2 A's and 1 B, whatever. That's all referring to the weights of the lead shots. So you can find exactly the right leads to use to get a perfect setting on your float. Just look for the lines, letters, sorry, at the bottom of your float, and you'll know the exact weight to pull that down and have just the top showing above the water. So there you go, a quick one for the end of 2018. Have a fabulous Christmas, guys, an even better New Year. I want to hear all your reports about your big catches and so forth. Pop them onto the channel, and let everybody know what a fabulous time you've had fishing. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from me, Fisher Rob, and the Novice Angler channel.